Yeah, you know, you might not know what my personal view is about, well, personal responsibility. But if I had to summarize it in a nutshell, it goes something like, well, the people who, or the individuals who present the argument of others being personally irresponsible, well, they're the people who are the least accountable to themselves and others. And they absolutely have no personal responsibility whatsoever, meaning they're the most irresponsible people. But they tell you and point the finger at you and tell you out here that you will have nothing. You're irresponsible for having nothing. It's your fault you have nothing. And the reason you have nothing is, well, it's because you're irresponsible. And the reason why they have a lot of things is because they're personally responsible. They're fiscally sound. They have impeccable fiscal skills. So to hear them speak. But that's not the case. That's not the reality. That's not true. Now, here's what you have. You have a lot of possessions. You have a lot of things that you're paying a note on, that you're paying a bill for, that you don't completely own outright. Because it's the lavishness of it all. It's the lifestyle. It's the flying to Paris, the Dior, the Gucci, all the parties, all the expensive champagne, fancy caviar. You know, it's the posh, the rich and famous lifestyle. It's that thing that gets you. And now you have to ask yourself, well, is that personal responsibility? Is that being fiscally conservative? Is that being fiscally sound? Well, you know, if you like hoarding things, then they're your people. You know, the thing of it is, the people who are said to be irresponsible, they're probably the most responsible. You want to know why? Because they've managed. They've managed to survive on nothing. Now, you used to say you gave people scraps, but, well, in a lot of instances, people haven't received scraps. No, they've received nothing, and they've managed to survive. That's resiliency. That's, well, that's being clever. That's being resourceful. Those are all the things that people do who are responsible. Now, you're the most irresponsible. The people passing judgment, telling people that, well, you just have too many kids. You just, well, you just need these things. And you don't need this. You don't need that. Those things are not for you. They're for us. It's for our class. And you're trying to live in a class that you can't afford to live in. And in order to live in the class that we live in, well, you have to do the things that we do. And seeing as you don't do the things we do, well, you'll never be a part of the class. And see, this is the thinking of the bourgeoisie, the very wealthy, the privileged, the elites as they call themselves. You know, I've never been a fan of them. And I'm even more critical of their thinking, their theories, and their philosophy. Now, having 7 yachts and paying a note on all 7 yachts, that's not being responsible. That's being irresponsible. And you know, even if you own all 7 yachts, that means that, well, there's people who can't eat. So we have to think about the disparity. Should somebody own 7 yachts as opposed to 3 and more people can eat? Those are the real questions. Those are real problems that we have to think about. Because the thing is, if you introduce this whole scarcity model, this whole scarcity paradigm, well, it's going to get real nasty real quick. And that's going to be nobody's fault besides the elites, the people, well, the entities that can't relinquish anything. They have to have it all. They have to keep consuming and consuming and consuming. You have to ask yourself, what mammal wouldn't be considered a lunatic if they just hoarded and didn't provide anything to the rest of their community? But we say nothing about the elites and the wealthy, claim and pose as humans. You know, we ought to start being critical. And critical means critical of everything. Systems. The people who operate systems.